So today kicks off Mythic Plus. It's the official kickoff of the season. Mythic rating also kicks off today, which means Race to World First does as well. So we got some things to talk about here, as well as the current state of delves. We just love talking about delves lately. So here it is, dungeon buffs in the War Within Season 1. So if you didn't know, there are a few things here and there in the dungeons that we're going to be running this season that can actually give you buffs. Little things maybe that you can click depending on your profession or class or race. I'm going to tell you all of the little secrets that can be had in the current dungeon buffs. So here they are, Arakara, City of Echoes. If you're a tailor, you can actually find numerous discordant attendants lying on the ground. If you go ahead and click on them, and you will get some silken thread. Using that silken thread will give you a 10-second stun that even works on shrilling voice mini-mobs, so that gives you, in essence, another basically silence ability. So that's pretty cool for anyone who's a tailor running that dungeon. City of Threads for rogues, priests, and engineers. There's something else you can do. If you're an engineer, at least of skill 25, you can interact with shade casters to give the group a 30 plus, what is this? Power stolen, the stolen power stolen from the shade casters increases damage done by 15%, healing done by 15%, and movement speed by 50%. Now there is no timing on this. I don't know how long this thing will last, but I'm assuming it wouldn't be the whole dungeon. That'd be a freaking massive buff if it is. But there it is. If you're a rogue priest or Khazalgar engineer of skill 25, you interact with one of these shade casters, which are these guys that project this stuff, of Queen Ansarak, and you can go ahead and get yourself some nice buffs for the group, which is really, really nice. For Stone Vault, Warriors, Dwarves, and Blacksmiths, that's right, you can use this imbued iron bar. Interacting with this little iron bar here in the corner of the dungeon will give you a nice little buff, a 10-minute verse buff, in fact. And all you have to do is go ahead and strike the bar once. It will grant you imbued iron energy for 20 yards by 10%, so all players within 20 yards will get that 10% buff. Very, very nice. Mists of Tyrannosaurus Scythe, one of the oldies. Click the right leaf, go through the right portal. I still don't even know how to do that damn mechanic. I just always let other people do it. But here it is. The Overgrowth Roots provides a shortcut to access 10% stat buffs. While, we all know this one, you go into the little area and you click the little mushrooms. Well, before you needed to be a Night Fae Covenant member, now it goes for Druids, Night Elves, Tauren, and Herbalists. If you're any one of those four, you can unlock the roots and give your entire group some nice little buffs, so that's pretty good. Necrotic Wake. All roles can use these things. So I remember in the Necrotic Wake, I used to always pick up the Javelin and use it. Yeah, there's little weapons lying around and stuff that you can use. One of them is the Discharge Anima. Gives you an inflicting arcane damage on your enemies. Bloody Javelin inflicts physical damage. Forgotten Forge Hammer inflicts physical damage as well. And then Discarded Shield activate to reduce damage taken by 50% as a tank. I used to always pick this thing up and use it. Pretty nice little buff. So these are little secrets, little tidbits here and there between the dungeons that you can use during your first season of Mythic Plus here. Now, with the kickoff of Mythic Plus season, there are some nerfs happening to some of these dungeons. Specifically, Arakara is seeing a nerf. It looks like the damage is being reduced for the Kikatal, the Harvester. This is that little buggy boss. His damage is reduced by 18%, which is pretty good, I guess. Siege of Borealis, there was an issue where players were being ported to the opposite faction portal. I don't know what that is all about, but now I guess you get ported to the correct one, so that's pretty good. For Mists of Tyrannosaurus Scythe, addressed an issue where the dodgeball was inflicting damage on unintended targets. Okay, that's fine. And then Dawnbreaker, there is now a worn anvil where you can repair, actually, on the Dawnbreaker next to the Arathi Lamplighters. So that's pretty cool. I guess a little repair site in the middle of the dungeon. Good for anyone who forgot to do so, or maybe you've just wiped too many times in the dungeon so far. Raid is kicking off this week as well. Not necessarily just Raid, it's actually Mythic Raid that's kicking off now. Raid has been out for quite a while, but maybe you're not ready for Mythic. Maybe you're still grinding the heroics and things like that. Well, there is a way to get your item level up, a little bit quicker, and that's maybe going to the auction house and buying some BOEs, or maybe you just want to make some gold and sell some BOEs. So here's a list of the different BOEs currently available in the dungeon that you'll be able to get. There's basically one for every slot here, and these have been selling for quite a lot on the auction house. So if you get one, like I said, you can either sell it on the auction house, or maybe you just want to fill in that slot where you've had no RNG yet and you've been lacking on gear. You can go ahead and buy one of these from the auction house. In terms of what item level they're dropping, LFR is giving you 590 BOE gear, Normal's giving you 603, Heroic 616, and Mythic, well, today, when it's open, will start to give you 629 BOE gear, so you'll be able to buy 629 gear off of the auction house if, in fact, anyone who's running Mythic is going to sell them. So that's pretty good. Yeah, you still need pants and boots. This is all things that you can get from anywhere, basically. So, yeah, pants and boots, different ways you can fill these things. Are pants on here, actually? I got boots. Yeah, boots are on here for sure. Waist, shoulders. I actually don't see pants, so maybe pants are lacking. You just have to go pantsless. What am I going to do? It's the way I like to walk around my house as well. The War Within hotfixes coming in, too. Tuning and different bug fixes. Now, we can look at all these things. Just a few little things here and there, but the main thing is right here. Our Delvey boys. My God, the state of Delves. I mean, it's like it's been changing every day. It's throwing people into a panic. I've seen people cry and shit themselves. It's been pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. But here's the thing. One, you can just get good. I'm just kidding. I know there's been issues with them. Two, try them again, because there have been hotfixes implemented in the previous couple days over the weekend, yesterday as well, and today there'll be some hotfixes. So here they are. Blizzards have been closely monitoring some of these. They've been saying that delves have actually been taking longer than they want them to take, which is true, man. I ran a delve the other day, and I'm like, damn, this thing's taking as long as a Mythic dungeon. Now, for me, I'm a Blood DK, and I barely do any damage as is, so yes, it's going to take me a little bit longer. I never die. I haven't died in a dungeon yet, and I've been doing up to +8 now. But the thing is, it's been really tough to kill mobs, and it does take a while. It does feel quite grindy, especially some of these boss fights. Feels like they're lasting like 5 minutes for me. Well, Blizzard's working on some reductions there. So they've reduced the health of bosses, lieutenants, rares, and unique objects and creatures. They've also fixed a bug that could make Bran much stronger than intended. He was receiving buffs he wasn't supposed to. But they did, in fact, not only... This is kind of a nerf to him, but they did increase the amount of damage and healing that he's doing by 125% across all tiers. They also increased his damage reduction, so he doesn't take as much damage, by 80%. So that's pretty good. There's also a couple little things here and there that they fixed with some mobs that were a bit buggy and stuff. But overall, they're trying to make delves a little bit easier, I guess. Sam, it takes you over 70 minutes to clear a dungeon. Well, if I'm soloing things, it's tough to do. I do a lot of solo content that's not supposed to be soloable because of the legend that I truly am. But I'm a man of the people, and I run with the people. That's how I like to do things. Solo delves have also been nerfed, as a side note here. Elites, such as the Nerubian Web Spinner and the Kobold Task Finder, have had their health nerfed by 30%, down 20.2 million. Yeah, so this is something that I was saying. I did Waxface yesterday. The boss Waxface has his health reduced by 16.5%. That's good. I do feel like the Waxface fight lasted a freaking hour yesterday. I was doing it. My God, this shit's forever. This mob's not dying. Well, there I go. Little reduction. Mini bosses have also been hit. We don't have the numbers on those at the moment. And then regular mobs, 11 million health lower. So that's good. Again, less health. These fights aren't supposed to last as long as they've been lasting, especially when you're doing it solo. So Blizzard's trying to get that time down, which is pretty good. Speaking of nerfs, Warlocks. Oh, yeah, have you been using your Doom Guard to kill things? Well, it's going to get nerfed a little bit. So Doom Guards evidently have just been popping off. I mean, these guys, basically like another member of the group at this point. Blizzard came in with the nerf hammer hard on them. So Doom Bolt has been reduced by 89%, and Doom damage has been reduced by 90%. So there you go. Doom Guard's a little bit more limp. They've been coming in hard, man. You've been summoning these guys have been flying through, penetrating everything in their path. A little bit more limp now. That's fine. We can handle that. We'll deal with it. Summon something else, I guess, Warlocks out there. And last but not least here, it looks like Blizzard released a What to Do Now video. So we finished the campaign. We've done things differently. We've completed some Mythic dungeons. Now it's Mythic Plus and other things. So what do you do? What is there to do in WoW? Well, evidently, there is more to do than ever. And Blizzard released a short little 2-minute video on what to do now as the season officially kicks off. So let's check this thing out and see what Blizzard themselves have to say. If the video loads. Maybe
Finish the War Within story campaign and wondering what's next? The new world of Finish the War Within story campaign and wondering what's next? The new World of Warcraft expansion brings more seasonal endgame content than any previous expansion, and it's easier than ever to jump in. Here's how.
Ooh, more than ever. It sure feels like it. It's been a good expansion so far.
Seasonal content has 4 key pillars of gameplay: dungeons, delves, PvP, and raids. Starting with delves, the new solo, bite-sized experiences introduced in the War Within. The new season continues the storyline, introduces more challenging scenarios, and offers more powerful rewards.
Look, guys, let's, I'm laughing like while he's talking about delves because I know the shit show that it has kind of been. But let's take delves for what they are. They're taking a bit of tuning. You gotta remember, this is brand new content to the game, unlike Mythic Plus and rating that's been around for quite a while now. Mythic Plus since Legion, rating since the beginning of time. So let them fix it. Let them get it tuned properly. I do still think there is a lot of promise behind delves and their concept of this short little, soloable or not content that you can do in the game. I do think delves still have promise. Let's just hold back on the pitchforks a little bit.
Delves are ideal if you want to keep progressing by yourself through a variety of environments or have limited time to play. The seasonal Mythic Plus dungeon system is one of the most popular endgame activities. Each season offers a playlist of both new and classic dungeons. As you climb from Mythic 0 to Mythic 10 and above, they get progressively more difficult with timed runs and affixes which could buff your character or provide new challenges. The higher you climb, the better the loot. Open up the dungeon finder and your journey up.
Get up to 10. That's it. Get up to plus 10. That's what you want to do. Get the best loot in the game.
The ranks begins. World of Warcraft's raids provide some of the most memorable cooperative moments in gaming. After completing the campaign, you're powerful enough to jump into this 10 to 30 player experience, with larger-than-life bosses, each with their own mechanics to master. If you don't have a group or want to get your first taste of raids, the Looking for Raid Difficulty, or LFR for short, will group you with like-minded players. LFR Wings will
like-minded players, indeed, yeah. Basically mindless players. No, I shouldn't be saying that. Come on, there's some people who like LFR and they do it all the time. And I'll be honest, this first week, you probably should have gotten it done because it drops decent gear, at least to start the season off, so that's good. But if you don't want to do things with like-minded players or LFR in general, and you want to actually get into the normal raid and heroic raid, come join me. Samiccus raid, yeah, the best raids around, totally. We get all that shit done. It's been fun. The raid overall, I think, has been pretty fun. We've been enjoying it, and I don't think any of the fights are too bad. We did deal with the that web council or whatever the hell their name is. They gave us some trouble, but eventually we got them down.
Open over several weeks, allowing you to tackle the raid in more manageable sessions. If you're just in it to experience the next step in the story, hop into story mode and experience the most important boss fights solo. Prefer fast-paced fights over big boss battles? Jump in solo or with friends into PvP. Battlegrounds are 10v10 large-scale battles which will have you capturing flags, holding points, or accomplishing other objectives while decimating the enemy.
Thank you for the bits.
The ultimate test of skill takes place in raided modes with solo, 2v2, 3v3, or 10v10 battlegrounds that will quickly prove who can handle the heat. In addition, solo queue rated battlegrounds are a new feature in the War Within. They're 8v8 and let players jump straight into rated battlegrounds as a solo player. Quick match modes are available to get your feet wet, and each season begins a new ladder to earn gear and glory.
I have felt bad for PvP players in the past. I feel like they've been quite neglected, but PvP really is like a fringe concept in this game. It's an MMO. PvP is never going to be its bread and butter, but I'm glad they get a new battleground and stuff. Maybe I'll run in and try that thing out.
Gear and glory. Powerful gear, new tier sets, mounts, and titles are all yours for the taking as you complete new seasonal activities. Delves, dungeons, and raids all contribute toward your Great Vault progress every week, giving you even more chances at that drop you've been chasing. Fill out all the slots each week for more options. New seasons in WoW brings tons of new content and ways to progress. Whether you play solo or in groups, prefer laid-back gameplay or high-pressure challenges, or somewhere in between. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in Azeroth.
That's right, oh man. Good stuff, good season so far, exciting stuff. The War Within has been great. All of these new features, finally, I mean, this week really does mark the beginning of everything. That's it, it's all open, just do whatever the hell you want now. Season 1 is in full form, the War Within is in full form, and it's been fun so far. Hopefully it continues to be.